What's up, guys? If you're searching for the best pocket Wi-Fi or the best international SIM card, or should I use Google Fi instead of Data Roam or Tep Wireless or True Wi-Fi, or should I get Google Fi instead of Tmobile if you're in the US? Stay tuned, because this thing is for everyone around the world. This will give you all the information you need in 10 to 15 minutes instead of the 10 hours that I just spent. I'm telling you right now, this is the most detailed review and all-encompassing information that you'll need to know exactly what you need to get. So stay tuned. What up, guys? What up? We're back. I'm bringing it to the screen here because I got some details I want to show you. This is like the first time I've ever done a screen recording where I captured myself, so hopefully it works. We'll find out in a minute. But here we go, y'all. This is definitely going to give you everything you need to know regarding having data around the world. Whether you're local, whether you're traveling, doesn't matter if you're going to the US, going around the world, if you live in the US or you're just visiting there, or going to Europe, Asia, whatever, it doesn't matter. This is going to hook you up. This covers everything. I mean, like I just spent 20 hours, just turned a 20-hour rabbit hole into a 10 short slide video for you. But anyways, this is going to help you out. This is the most updated Ninja guide for 2019. Google Fi, Pocket Wi-Fi's, local SIM, all of it. If you get some value out of this, give me some love at the end. Subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be bringing a bunch of golden travel nuggets and some entertainment on the way. So basically, I'm going to cover as far as what phone data, what phone/data service to get for international travel, because a lot of you are probably traveling the world or hope to soon, and you're looking into it. And so I'm going to cover Google Fi, other carriers, pocket Wi-Fi's, and local SIM cards. And also for if you're living or visiting in the US, like I said, or going to Europe, Asia, that kind of thing. So let's get started. Why should you listen to me? Well, I've been traveling around the world for 20 plus years, and for the past 7.5 years straight, and I've used many SIM cards around the world too. So I definitely have firsthand experience with SIM cards around the world. I also just did a bunch of research, right now, middle of 2019, reading blogs, reviews. I literally, spoke directly to Google Fi, Tmobile, Tep Wireless, Skyroam, Travel Wi-Fi, all of these, man. I did all this because I wanted to know for myself too and make sure I was giving you the right information. And I also have friends that have been traveling around the world with Google Fi, and I've talked to them, as they've used it in different countries. And also I read a bunch of reviews on the pocket Wi-Fi's too. So I got you covered, man. So let's get into it. I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about each of these options, and then I'll wrap it up on each thing for you. So with Google Fi, you may or may not know, but I might be able to give you some golden nuggets that you're not aware of. But it's basically $20 you have to pay for the talk and text, and then it's $10 per gigabyte of data that you get. And you pay up to 6 gigs of data. So the most you would have to pay is like $80, $20 for talk and text, and then another $60 for the data if you use 6 gigabytes of data on your phone, or hotspotting it. You can hotspot it where you connect the connection to your laptop or your iPad or whatever to another tablet. But they give you up to 15 gigs. So once you get to the $80 threshold, they have this payment protection where they bump it up to 15 gigs. So you're able to get up to 15 gigs of 4G, like high-speed internet, for that price. You can still get data after that, but it's just dirt slow. Like, it's not even going to be worth using. So just bank on that you're going to get up to 15 gigs for $80 total is the most you would pay for that. If you need more than that during a month, they charge you an extra $10 per gig, or an extra $1 per 100 megabytes of data. Okay, so that's that. And for calling, it's 20 cents a minute, basically around the world. Like wherever you call, anywhere that they cover. Which, I mean, it's Google. They pretty much cover almost anywhere you would go. Almost anywhere you would go. 20 cents a minute for calling from the phone. Or if you have a Google Fi designed device. It's going to be, that's where you're calling over Wi-Fi with a Google Fi designed device. then the rates go off of Google Voice rates, okay? And some of those rates are way better than 20 cents a minute. I mean, there's a number of countries where it's literally 1 cent a minute, 2 cents a minute, 3 cents a minute, that kind of thing. Sometimes it's more expensive though, so it would actually make more sense for you to call from the phone than to call over the Wi-Fi connection, okay? I'll give you one example here. Like in Brazil, if you call over Wi-Fi, you can call any mobile number for 6 cents a minute and 1 cent a minute to landlines, okay? But another example that's kind of flipped on that is in Bulgaria, just a random example. If you call a mobile phone over Wi-Fi, over your Wi-Fi connection, it would cost you 39 cents a minute, but the landlines would be 7 cents a minute. So it'd actually be better to call without Wi-Fi if you're calling mobile phones. There's actually you can actually go, it's really easy, there's a URL that you can go to check the Google Voice rates wherever you're going, whichever country you're going to be going to. You can easily check that and you'll know, like, okay, I should call from Wi-Fi, or no, I should just call from my phone, that kind of thing. You know, and also calling over Wi-Fi, like back to the US, for example, is free. You know, if you have a Google Fi design device. The Google Fi design devices are basically the Google Pixel 3, the Google Pixel 2, the Moto G6 and the Moto G7. The thing is too, like they have it where you can use the Google Fi SIM card in any phone, pretty much. Not any phone, but most phones. And you can also go to the site here where you're able to just check. Let's see, there's the URL right there. You can check to see if your phone is compatible with Google Fi. I mean, most phones pretty much will be compatible with Google Fi. But the thing is, if you're not using one of those Google Fi design devices, you're going to lose features. Like you're going to, if you have an iPhone, for example, and you put the Google Fi SIM card in there, when you're in the US, if you are in the US, you're not going to get the benefit of where it automatically switches between networks, because Google Fi runs in the US. Google Fi actually runs off of Tmobile, Sprint, and US Cellular. So if you have a Google Fi design device like the Google Pixel 3 or the Moto G6, Moto G7, there's a couple other ones too that are kind of grandfathered in. If you have those phones, it's going to automatically switch between the networks depending on where you are in the country and give you the best signal. Okay, so that's pretty cool. The other thing is, like, they have like 2 million, you know, Wi-Fi open. They're basically open networks. It's not Google hotspots. It's basically just open Wi-Fi networks that Google Fi will pick up on if you're in those areas, and that way it won't burn your data. It'll actually use the Wi-Fi data. But those Wi-Fi spots are kind of, you know, you don't know where they're scattered, you know, so like you can't really rely on that for that. But the fact that it switches between networks is a big thing. And the other thing is, when you're traveling around the world, I believe, you know, Google Fi runs off of T-Mobile's network around the world, basically. They're partners, whatever. But I think they also partner with the other top providers in countries around the world. So there's actually a good chance that if you have a Google Fi SIM card, you'll actually get a better signal, like a more reliable signal throughout the countries that you visit, compared to, you know, using a pocket Wi-Fi, or even compared to using a local SIM card. Because if you go with a local SIM card, you're going to have to go with one company instead of Google Fi, where they swap between the best carriers, the strongest carriers in that country. So you could actually technically have more reliable coverage throughout the countries that you're visiting with Google Fi, if you have, you know, one of those Google Fi design devices. But what you could do, if you still want to use your iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy or some other phone, and you don't want to use one of these Google phones, you could still buy, like the Moto G6 is $99. You could freaking buy that phone for 99 bucks, set up the plan on that phone, and now you can use that phone as your little hotspot device. You can basically just use that as your hotspot device, and you're good to go with that. So that's something that you could do. Let's see. So let's compare that to the pocket Wi-Fis. Okay. So with the pocket Wi-Fis, I did the research. There's a bunch of them out there. 3 of the best ones are probably Tep Wireless, Skyroam, and travel Wi-Fi. Tep Wireless is the best one. I'm telling you right now. I did the freaking research. I talked to the customer service, from each of them. First of all, off the top of my head, the customer service for Tep Wireless is definitely better than Skyroam. It's definitely better than travel Wi-Fi. When I contacted Skyroam, I asked the same question like in email, like 3 different times, and the person still didn't answer my question, and it was a very clear question. Then when I chat messaged them on the internet, right on the website there, I asked them a very clear question, and they, I even gave an example of it right down here. Like, my question was, okay, is it $9.95 per day to rent? Does that include 1 gig per day? What is, the advantage to buying the device? That was my question. Their response was, yes, it includes the data every day. That's it. Like, they didn't respond to this one. Then she gave me a coupon code. She's like, here, you can get a discount with this coupon code or whatever. She didn't even say it like that. She's just like, here's a coupon code for you. And I asked, is this the same, discount as when you arrive at the site? What is the coupon for? And her response was, it's a different coupon. You can use it at checkout. Like, she wasn't answering my questions, like it was just like, whatever. Tep Wireless was right on point. When I contacted them, they freaking answered exactly what I was asking for. They got back to me and it was good. Same thing with travel Wi-Fi. They were pretty good too, responsive, but they kind of like didn't answer a question or two of mine as well. But forget about them answering questions. Who cares? It's customer service, whatever it is, what it is. But let's talk about the money, the money that you're going to spend and what you're going to get with the pocket Wi-Fi. So with Tep Wireless, renting it per day is expensive. Like, if you're just going to rent per day, you should not rent the device per day. Like, you just shouldn't do that with any of these. Like, you're way better off. For example, you could buy the device for $129, and then instead of it being $7.90 or $12.95 a day, it could be $7.95 a day. Okay, and not only that, but I mean, I'll give you just like a Ninja Dirt style tip is like, you don't even have to buy this brand new. You could even just go on eBay or some other site and probably find a used one for dirt cheap. I bet you, I haven't even looked, but I bet you could buy them for 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks if I had to guess. So you could just pick one of these up yourself and then get it for where you're just paying internet $7.95. What does that $7.95 include? It includes 1 gigabyte of data per day. Okay. Now, this is a catch with all of these pocket Wi-Fi devices too, is that if you go over 1 gigabyte per day, your internet's going to get throttled. That means after 1 gig, your internet goes to shit, and you're basically it's not going to be usable. You would have to pay an additional $10 or something like that per gig for each day that you wanted to use it. It's a lot. It's craziness. So that is a major catch for this. Another route, if you think you're going to be using it a lot, there's only 2 scenarios. I'm going to get to what makes sense when. I'm going to tell you exactly when you should get which thing, and it'll all make sense here, but I just want to give you the details here. So with Tep Wireless, you can they also have a monthly option where it's a subscription. It's a monthly subscription, $99 a month, and you do get 1 gig per day for 30 days. That's a pretty good deal. Technically you get 30 gigs in a month for $99. That's not too bad to have a global pocket Wi-Fi where it works anywhere around the world, and you don't have to deal with getting SIM cards in different locations and all that and you have internet right when you land and get off the plane and stuff. It's not that bad of a deal, and this one is an even better deal. Like, this is the best deal. This is the best deal out of all the pocket Wi-Fis. It is the best deal if you're traveling long term. This is the best deal of any of the pocket Wi-Fis. Like $139 per month to have 2 gigs per day. Which is giving you 60 gigs a month for that $139. That's the best deal for any pocket Wi-Fi where you're going to have access around the world. to whatever countries they have. That's another thing too, is they don't have as many countries as Google Fi does. Like they still do have most of the common countries. I mean, they've got 100 plus, maybe 130 countries that they cover. So it's going to be most places that you would visit. But Google Fi definitely covers like pretty much 200. I think they cover almost every country basically. But this is a pretty good deal to have a pocket Wi-Fi that works anywhere. I'm going to get to local SIM cards and all that in a second here, but just stay with me on this. They also, with Tep Wireless, they also have like voice over IP, like they have calling over Wi-Fi, and they have good rates. Sometimes their rates are actually better than the Google Voice rates. Like Tep Wireless actually has, I looked into it because you can look at the URL. There's a URL that you can check where you can see what the costs are to call different countries around the world from the Wi-Fi. And there's many countries where it's dirt cheap. It's a really good option. So for me, Tep Wireless hands down is the way to go, because Skyroam is, it is $9.95 per day. But there's no discounts like on the daily if you buy their $150 device. And like I said, the customer service, they were not answering my questions, and it kind of just made me like, eh. And it's not the best deal, man. You're going to get a better deal with Tep Wireless, man. Get your own device and you have internet for, $7.95 a day, or you can get one of these monthly plans. And this plan right here, there's 2 gigs per day. That's a solid, it's a good deal for the pocket Wi-Fi's for sure. Travel Wi-Fi, the only time it kind of made sense, I guess, was if you don't care about money and you want convenience when you go to Europe or you go to France. Travel Wi-Fi has a pretty good deal. Like they have 5 gigs per day, so you can, you'd be able to hotspot from your computer and like watch movies and stuff like that. And you'd probably be pretty good off, because it's 7.9 euros for the first 10 days, and then 5.9 per day for the rest of the month. So it basically, I did the math, it works out to about $225 per month for that, and that gives you 5 gigs per day. So that's a lot of internet. So this is something where if you don't care about money so much and you more care about convenience, and you want to have, not unlimited, but it's a lot of data. That's a lot of data. You could freaking watch a movie, stream music all day, still be able to use the internet and work from it and stuff. And and you'd have enough internet. So it's not cheap, dude. It's $225 a month, but you're going to have the same little pocket Wi-Fi device throughout Europe. You don't have to keep getting new SIM cards, and it's a good amount of data, and then for France it's actually unlimited, and the price is a little bit cheaper too. The price is like $190 per month, okay? But the truth is, this is madness. I would never, me personally, I don't know, maybe if I really didn't care about money, I would get this because it's so convenient. But it's just madness, because when you're in Europe, dude, you can go, when you get to the countries, you can get local SIM cards, and that's going to bring me into the local SIM cards right now. But you can get such better deals with the local SIM cards, okay? It's like, it's not even close. So this to me is madness. I personally would probably never ever get this. I don't think I would ever get it unless I just really wanted super convenience of not having to that's when I would get it. If I didn't care about the money and I wanted to just get convenience, you pay that price and you have basically unlimited internet throughout all of Europe as you're bouncing around. So local SIM cards, we're going to get into the local SIM cards. We're getting there. We're getting local SIM cards versus Google Fi versus the pocket Wi-Fi. I'll give you a couple examples just to give you an idea here. Where I'm at in Ecuador right now, which is kind of sort of off the map, I'm actually in an epic location. The ocean's right behind you right now. I'm looking at the ocean. It's like 5:36 in the afternoon right now. But the data here is basically, it's not cheap, compared to a lot of places. It's not cheap. It's actually 9 gigabytes basically for $30 is how much it is with Claro. Claro is the signal that works where I'm at right now. So it's 9 gigabytes for $30, right? So if I wanted like 30 gigabytes, or 27, I guess technically it would be 27 gigabytes, then it would be $90, right? And if I just wanted 1 gigabyte, I could get that for $5 for 30 days. Or if I was going to use the 1 gig in 3 days, I could get it for $3, you know? Okay, now compare that to Google Fi, right? If I wanted 30 gigs of Google Fi, dude, it would cost me $230 for the month, okay? And with Tep Wireless, it would be, you know, it's close. With Tep Wireless, it's close. You know, it's $99 instead of 90, but I can only use 1 gig per day. After that, they're going to cut it off and the internet's going to be shit unless I pay more money each day for the internet. So I would still want to go with a local SIM card, you know, in Ecuador. And if I go to some other countries, you go to a lot of other countries, there are many other examples, but here's one. In Thailand, you get a True Move card, you know, local True Move SIM card. You can get 14 gigs of 4G data, which it works for 7 days, for $12. 14 gigs for $12 compared to, you know, the, you know, astronomical prices compared, you know, when you're comparing the pocket Wi-Fi's. And if you want like 33 gigs, it's $38, okay? So instead of paying $99, for example, it's $38, or instead of paying 90, you know, or whatever, it's you know, it's dirt cheap, man. It's dirt cheap. Yeah, instead of paying 230 or 99, it's $38. And that's for Thailand. A lot of countries have deals like these for the local SIM cards. So what would I do if I was traveling? This is basically what I do. I'll tell you. The past 7 years, this is what I've done. I always get local SIM cards. Like, I've actually never had internet on arrival. Like, I just personally haven't had internet on arrival. I think maybe I did when I was in Asia and the SIM card worked in another country. I can't remember. But for the most part, when I go to countries, I just either that day or the next day, I go to the local cell phone store. And you need to go to the local cell phone store. Don't go to a 7-Eleven. Don't go to some other place. Go to the cell phone store, because you're going to find out what the exact packages they are, if there's any specials, and you're going to get hooked up with the proper plan so that your data doesn't burn out in 5 seconds. Because there's been times where I tried to set a plan up or something and it didn't work, and my $10 went in like 10 minutes. It was crazy. So go to the cell phone stores. It'll actually be fun for you. You know, you'll get like a kind of a little local experience when you first get to these places, and it's just kind of cool to just kick things off with it. But like, you know, in 7.5 years, there's been 2 or 3 times maybe where the fact that I didn't have internet right on arrival, it made a difference. And that was in the beginning when I wasn't as like knowledgeable as I am now. You know, like it's actually pretty easy to just do your research ahead of time. Like, just get your hotel's information, make sure you have at least 1 or 2 backup hotels in case you get to your hotel and you find out something's not right. You know, and then have their contact information with you. Another thing you can do is make sure you kind of look at a map, you know, so you kind of have an idea relative, like where the airport or your dock where you come in on a boat, or if you're coming in by bus from another country, just kind of have an idea of where the city is, you know, on a map. You can look at a map and it'll give you an idea of where you need to go from the airport to the hotel and stuff. It'll just help you like get acquainted. You know, you could also download the map ahead of time too, you know, and then you're good. You know, you don't have to have the internet right when you land. You can literally just get it once you get to your hotel. You know, you can just get situated and stuff, and then just go to the cell phone store. Or you could even, you know, once it's actually pretty easy just to, I usually don't like to go do things when I have my bags with me. I don't like to do that unless I have one bag. It's easy to bring with me. But if I have a bunch of crap with me, I don't want to show up at a cell phone store with like my big bag and my other bag and all this crap. Like, I'd rather not do that. You know, if it's very convenient and it's right there, maybe I will. But otherwise, I'll go to the hotel, I'll get checked in, and then I'll do what I got to do. You know, yeah. And then I just get the local SIM cards wherever I'm at. But let me give you a couple other recommendations though regarding this. Okay, if you really want to have internet right when you land, or you just want, more time convenience. You don't want to be spending time going to get SIM cards in each country that you're at. It really doesn't take long. It takes, the cell phone stores that I've been to around the world are so much faster than I can remember when I was in the US. Like, I mean, I remember going, I guess it depends which company you use in the US too, but some of the dirt carriers, like I remember like one time when I had Metro PCS, dude, that was a nightmare, man. I would never, probably would never use Metro PCS, just because I remember one time I had it, and just going there to try to get help was insane. But now when I go to the US, I don't even, I use these secondhand carriers that they kind of bite data off of the main carriers, and you set it up yourself. It's really easy. But anyways, when I'm traveling around the world, like if you had to have data when you landed, you just really, for comfort, for secure, for convenience, whatever, if you are pretty confident that you're going to use less than 15 gigs of data per month, then go with a Google Fi, and get yourself a Google Fi design device. Like, get the Moto G6. Even if you want to use your iPhone or your other, get the Moto G6 for 99 bucks, and you can use it as a hotspot device. Okay, and this will give you coverage. This actually will give you the most coverage around the world. Like, you will have the most coverage. And when you go into countries, more than not, you're going to be likely to have a better signal throughout the country, because Google partners with other networks, and they have the Tmobile partnership, around the world as well. So there's a chance you're going to have a better signal in a number of places as well. And then also you have the calling over Wi-Fi. So, like, you can get Google Voice rates if you're calling internationally, other countries, like to check on a hotel or to do whatever you got to do. There's so many, it's so easy now. A lot of places around the world have Wi-Fi. I mean, have WhatsApp numbers. You can just WhatsApp them through internet, and you don't even need to call like an actual phone number. But if you do, it's there. If you are pretty confident that you're going to need 30 gigs, of data per month, like, and it's going to be 1 gig per month, 1 gig per day, or if you kind of know you're going to probably need about 2 gigs per day, and you're going to use it most days like that, then you might want to go with a Tep device, because you can get one of these monthly plans, and when you get these monthly plans, you actually get a brand new device free too. By the way, they give you a new device for free. And also with Tep, I mentioned the Wi-Fi. Calling over Wi-Fi is it's a good deal, man. They have some really good rates to a number of places, and they also have a deal with some airlines where you can get free Wi-Fi on the airlines when you're on the flights, of certain flights. When you go to their site, you'll be able to check into that. If you feel you only just need internet for when you land, like if you just don't even need the data other than when you land, you just want to have internet when you land in places, when you first get to countries, and you just want to have that internet, and then you're going to get a local SIM card in the places, that would be a good route to do. What you can do is, I mentioned, is you could get the Tep device, either buy the new one from the site, or you could just buy a used one from wherever you can find it, right? And you'll have the device. And then you can just load data on the days that you're going to need data, like when you're going to a new country. That way, for example, if you're going to be in a country for a month, all you got to do is load $7.95 for that one day that you're going to arrive, and that way you'll have internet on your Tep device right when you land and you're there, and then you're golden. And then for the rest of the month, you would get a local SIM card and you'd be good. Or even if it's for another week or 2 weeks, you'll have a local SIM card that you'll get, and you'll get way better, rates as far as how much data you get and that kind of thing. Here's a coupon code too. If you go to Tep Wireless, if you do want to hook up, your monthly plan, or, buy per day or whatever, you can use the code GLOBEHOPPING. Use that code GLOBEHOPPING. That'll get you 10% off. And also for buying the device too. I believe it works for everything. So that is an option, is to just have, like, if you gotta have internet when you land, you just want it for comfort or whatever, just get yourself, either buy a new device from Tep, or buy a used device. And keep in mind, I've read some people had trouble connecting, like where they turn the device on and it takes them like 5 or 10 minutes to connect. So just keep that in mind. Like, if you land, you're gonna want to turn that thing on immediately, or even just right when you land, turn it on, because it may take 5 or 10 minutes for that device to connect. Okay. All right. All right, we're getting there, man. We're almost done. So this is for the U.S., okay? This is if you're living in the U.S. or you're visiting the U.S. I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to keep this pretty simple. If you want unlimited 4G in the US, these are the things you want to consider. If you want the fastest, most reliable 4G coverage throughout the US and don't care about cost, it's probably going to be Verizon. They have the fastest signal and they have the most 4G coverage. It's just how it is, okay? You do need to check the coverage maps, because it does depend where you're going in the country. So you're still going to want to check the coverage maps between Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Those are the three that you would want to check. If you're going to major cities, they're all going to be pretty much, for the most part, they're all going to be there. They should all be fine. But, for sure, Verizon has the most solid coverage throughout the entire country as far as 4G goes. If you're going off the map a little bit and you're going into some rural areas, that kind of thing, AT&T actually has the most coverage for 3G, so it's a lot more coverage. Like they cover, by far they have the most 3G coverage to where, most places in the US, even rural off the map spots, like you're going to at least have a 3G signal where you'll have internet, some kind of internet. That's with AT&T, okay? But for me personally, like when I go to the US, if I needed an unlimited plan, I would actually go with T-Mobile. I would go with T-Mobile because they have an unlimited plan that is $70, and it includes unlimited 4G talk, text, and you also get what else do you get with that? You get if you're going to Canada or Mexico, you also get 5 gigs of free data with that. With these Magenta plans, they also give you a free thing of Netflix. You get free Netflix. They also are partnered like the GoGo. They have GoGo Wi-Fi. So if it's one of the GoGo airlines, like I think Delta, American Airlines, there's a few other ones where if you're with those, you get free Wi-Fi. Like the Magenta Plus plan gets unlimited free Wi-Fi on the flights. The regular Magenta, I think, gets like an hour of free Wi-Fi on those flights. But the regular Magenta plan is $70 a month. They have a Magenta Plus plan, which is $85. That's like the top plan. They have $85 a month, and that also gives you. Let me see. I wonder if any of you are still listening, dude. This is a lot of information I'm freaking giving you, dude. But this is basically the Magenta Plus plan right here. So you get, as far as T-Mobile's, talk and like their data speed international, it's garbage. Like it's garbage. Some people mention about, oh, you can get a T-Mobile plan and then you'll have internet, when you go internationally. Dude, it's super slow. The internet connection, like when you go outside the US, it's super slow. But they actually just, like literally this past week, they just created a new add-on that you can get, this international pass. For $50 a month, you can get 15 gigs of internet, international internet, where it works globally, just like Google Fi would work. It works the same. It's 15 gigs of data. But it doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense to use that if you're traveling. You're better off going with Google Fi and get 15 gigs because with T-Mobile, you would have to have the Magenta plan, which is freaking $70 or more, and then you'd have to pay another $50 for the internet. That's $120. You should just get a Google Fi for $80, and that'll get you the 15, or one of the other options I was talking about, So it doesn't make sense at all for international travel. It just doesn't. T-Mobile does not make sense. There's better options for that. But in the U.S., unlimited internet, it's solid. You also get 20 gigs of hotspotting, where you can hotspot to a computer or a laptop, that kind of thing. And you get HD streaming too. Like this is something where you're going to get HD quality streaming instead of SD quality streaming for video. This is for video quality. This is not really going to make a difference on a cell phone. But if you're streaming, if you're hotspotting to a computer or an iPad, that kind of thing, it could make a difference in the video quality. Like when you watch the movie, it could make a difference. But whatever. So that's the Magenta Plus plan. The Magenta plan, which is $70 a month. This plan right here is $85 a month, right? I'm gonna get to some cheaper options too. So, but this plan is $70 a month, and the difference is this one only has 3 gigs of hotspot and SD streaming instead of the other streaming. So, and actually, it looks like the Magenta plan has Netflix on us, but the Magenta's got Netflix on us too. Right, so they both do. Okay, we're almost done here. We're almost done here. So that basically covers it. T-Mobile also has an Essentials plan, which is also unlimited for $60 a month. That's unlimited 4G, okay? But just keep in mind that's going to be deprioritized. The speed is not going to be quite as fast as the Magenta plans. It gets deprioritized, but it's still fast. It's T-Mobile. It's one of the fastest 4G networks in the U.S. So it'll still work for you. I think I covered everything on that. Yep. Now that's for unlimited. If you want unlimited 4G. If you don't need unlimited 4G, I'm going to show you some freaking sick plans here. This is craziness. You know, this is if you don't need unlimited, you know. I never need it. When I've gone to the US, I never really need it, man. I get one of these other plans that are so much cheaper, and it's enough internet because there's so many places that have Wi-Fi, where you're staying will have Wi-Fi, like all around. You know, there's Wi-Fi everywhere. So, you know, you just can use a VPN, and that will basically give you a little more security. You know, I hear some people talking about, if you don't know what a VPN, it's a virtual protocol network. It basically gives you a little more security, where it masks your IP address, and it makes it a little bit harder for hackers to get into your stuff. Some people think if you have a VPN, you're safe. No, dude, you're not. They can still get it if they want to, but it's definitely not as easy. They got to go to another step to get to it. So just keep that in mind. But actually, that reminds me with Google Fi. That's another selling point of Google Fi. If you have a Google Fi design device, you're also going to get the VPN for free, where you actually have a VPN when you connect to those open Wi-Fi networks, or you can also use the VPN when you're using your 4G on Google Fi. You're actually able to use the VPN for free. You know, with any of these other options, or you're on your own, you can still get your own VPN, and it's like, you know, dirt cheap. I mean, $3-4 a month or something like that. You know, if you buy a plan, I think it's like $3 or $4 a month, $5 a month, something like that. You know, it's not that much. You know, but for not unlimited, if you don't need unlimited, this is the best deal in the U.S. You probably can't see it if you're on a mobile, but it's Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile in the U.S. has a deal for. I wonder if I was covering the microphone the whole time, dude. That would suck, huh? Mint Mobile has a deal 3 months for $75 for 3 months. That's $25 per month. And you get unlimited talk and text and 12 gigabytes of data. Okay, and you're able to hotspot that whole 12 gigs for $25 a month, dude. That is insane. If you only need 8 gigs of data, it's $20 a month, man. And if you only need 3 gigs of data, it's $15 a month. $15 a month for unlimited talk and text and 3 gigs of data. That is the best deal in the United States right now, middle of 2019, hands down. There's no other. I promise you, there's not another deal that's better than this deal. You know, as long as you're going to get it for, I mean, even if you're only going to be there you're not sure if you're going to be there 1 or 2 months, dude, you could pay for 3 months and it's freaking $45, and you're going to have freaking 3 months. You know, it's like for $45, it's a freaking good deal, man. It's crazy, you know. If you end up staying in the U.S., if you actually end up staying in the U.S. for more than the 3 months, what they end up wanting you to do is they want you to get a year plan after that 3 months is up. But you don't necessarily have to do that, because there are a few other options that you can go with. By the way, Mint Mobile runs off of T-Mobile's network. So same thing with Mint Mobile. Like, since it's a secondhand or whatever you call it carrier, it's going to be deprioritized as far as speed goes. Like, you know, the T-Mobile customers are going to be first in line for the data. And then if it's some super heavy congested time, you know, like biggest holiday of the year in a certain area and it's crazy, you know, you're going to get deprioritized. So your internet may not be as fast, but it's still going to be doable. It should be fine. You know, it's in the U.S. The signals are strong. T-Mobile has one of the strongest signals in the U.S. So it should still be fine. You know, I have used a number of these carriers, these second, you know, whatever you call them, carriers, and they've all been fine as far as the internet and everything has gone. For me, at least, that's been my experience. There's not really customer service. Like, it's almost no customer service. So basically with this, you're going to buy it online, or you could probably go to some stores in the US and like Walmart or whoever, I don't know who has it, Target, whoever's got, you know, the cards, but you can definitely just go right on the internet and you can buy it right off of the internet, and they'll mail you what you need, and then you set it up yourself. It's like literally like simple directions that you can follow, and you just follow the directions, step 1, 2, 3, and do it on your phone and do what they tell you, and boom, you're set up, and now you've got the internet and you're hooked up. If you only want to plan for like 1 month, something like that, there are 3 other that you should check out. Like Republic Wireless, they seem to be pretty good too, and they run off of Sprint and T-Mobile. So whichever has the strongest signal where you're at, you can kind of like elect to be run off of that one. I don't think it doesn't automatically swap between the two, so you have to kind of like contact them and tell them which one you want, whichever signal's stronger where you're at, and they'll hook that up. Simple Mobile runs off T-Mobile, and Metro BCS was the third one. I told you about that, but I mean, Metro BCS does have actual stores. You know, they have storefronts where you can go into stores if you do need customer service. It's there, and they still have some dirt cheap options. So if you just have to have customer service and you want the most dirt cheap option, if you don't need unlimited internet, it's going to be Metro PS for that. But I would go with, for me personally, I would almost surely go with this Mint Mobile, because I know I would be in the US for at least probably 2 to 3 months. You know, I mean, $25 a month and I would get 12 gigs. That's a sick deal. It's a really, really insane deal. Or maybe I would look at Republic Wireless or one of these for, you know, the monthly. So that's it, dude. This is I just covered everything. If you're still with me, dude, I feel bad for you because I gave you a lot of information. I'm going to actually put this all into a document and a lot more information. There's not a lot, but there are some more details that you might want to consider. I'm going to basically, maybe I'll put that into like some kind of PDF that you can download. I basically, this channel, Globe Hopping, man, this is my travel channel. You know, I've been bouncing around the world for 20 freaking plus years, the past 7.5 years straight. I just launched a travel book called Globe Hopping. This is a real deal book, man. This thing is a digital download you can get right now. It's over 300 pages. It's loaded with all kinds of travel tips, hacks. You know, there's 170 plus travel photos that I've taken around the world, you know, that have little captions as well, that also have like little stories or little tips and things in them. There's a detailed product guide in this book, man. I cover it's detailed. I put this together just now, mid 2019. It's all these products and services that I use and love while I'm bouncing around the world. And a lot of this stuff I use at home too. This is after years of researching and learning what works, what doesn't, you know, because when you're out on the road, there's, you know, some things that you way rather have something that's good and it's going to work, because if it doesn't, you're going to be screwed. You're going to have to buy something that's not as good, and it's going to cost 2 times as much. You know, like that has happened a number of times to me, especially with electronics, things like that, or even with gear, you know, like with shoes. You know, like a good rain jacket, like a backpack, something like that. Like if you lose something, like some of these things, man, you're not going to find the same quality in some of these places. And if you are lucky enough to find it, it's going to cost you a lot more. There's going to be a lot less selection, things like that. So there's certain items that you for sure would be better off to get when you're home. And in that product guide, man, I cover everything, whether you're budget or you've got some money to spend. I cover a lot of options. There's links, you know, I provide something where it's got links to everything, so you can get exactly to the exact things that I talk about. And there's some entertaining stories in there too. So if you want to check that book out, it's available right now as a digital download. It's only $7, dude. It's $7. This thing could save you thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours of travel time. Like, you know, it will help you have a better time on your trip. You can go to globehoppingtravel.com for that. And in the description, I think I'll also include like a free 20 smart travel products that you should probably have while you're bouncing around, or you might want to have while you're bouncing around the world. And look in the description there. I'll include a link to that where you can just opt in to get that. It's got some funny stuff in there, and there's some useful, very useful products in there that I bet you haven't thought of. So check that out. That's it, guys, man. This turned out to be a long video. If you're still with me, sweet. This is everything. It will save you hours and hours of research. Give me a like, subscribe. I'm going to be dropping a bunch of stuff. Drop a comment if you have any updated information or you got any other questions. There are some things I didn't cover in this video, but it's already long enough. So if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below, and definitely subscribe, because I got a lot coming, man. I got a list of things that are coming. So hope to see you in there, and stay tuned for more. This is Sean Stone, Globe Hopping. We'll see you on the next one. Later.